Hi, besties. Thank you for joining us today. I'm just going to make sure that we are recording. Okay, we are. So, Giorgio Talkinakis is joining me for our usual weekly. Thank you for joining, Giorgio.
Hi, Caitlin. I'm happy to be here.
As always, I am letting y'all know we are doing our very first live stream. I didn't promote it because I kind of wanted to give us a chance to, bring it in, see how we did.
Yeah, let's
uh,
test it out.
Yes, let's do it. We have a lot to share about BravoCon. We have a lot to share in the realm of the Bravo gossip. Just, you know, a little bit of a chit chat about some of it that I know a lot of you already know. So let's just go ahead and get into it. Y'all, Giorgio and I finally got to meet in person for the first time at BravoCon. And I mean, listen, you think we click here? We were just, we had a ball together. So much fun.
It was like best girlfriends for like 30 years. I mean, remember when you were getting ready the one night? It was just like I'd done this before and I hadn't
Yeah.
obviously. But
Yeah.
yeah,
You
no,
guys,
it was so fantastic. It was so nice to meet so many of the creators that we talk
yes.
to and do this with in person. So it was
Yeah.
fun.
Y'all, the patience of Giorgio and his partner, Jeff, when I was trying to figure out what to wear, my God. Let me tell you, they are saints. I thought I was going to be ready in 30 minutes. Maybe it was like close to an hour later at least. And it was like, finally, Giorgio was like, Caitlin, if you add any more powder to your face, you are going to be casket ready. You got to stop, girl. And I was like, okay, got it. Got it, got it,
Well,
got it, got it.
because I know what it's like when you're spiraling at that point. You're just
Always.
like you just keep going back for more layers of everything. You next thing you know, you're walking out of the house with 16 scarves, the the most jewelry that you could like, and obviously we packed, right? So we clearly packed. Like I had to take stuff out of my luggage on the way home, which I don't even know how that worked out, how I got the stuff there, but they were like, you need to take like 6 pounds out of your luggage. And I was like, well, luckily,
Well,
we had an extra duffel, but yeah, so it was a time, but it was Vegas, and that's what you do.
mhm. I checked not one, not two, but three bags. And I did shopping, last minute shopping while I was in Vegas. And two of my bags were 52 pounds. And I think the girl at Southwest, she just looked, I'm not going to name any names because I don't want to get anyone in trouble because she was a real one. I think she just looked and was like, honey, you are spending $125 already for this third bag. I'm going to let this slide.
Yeah, I know. I maybe that's what happened to me the first time around. They were like, "Oh, he looks like this could
A little
ruin his
stressed.
whole morning. It's an early flight. Let's just run it through."
Yes, for real though. For real. It was such a good time. Why don't we just start with the BravoCon stuff and then we'll get into more of it. So I
Okay.
know y'all saw Jennifer Aydin at the New Jersey panel when a woman named Gabby went up, and the question wasn't exactly polite. So there's that. Gabby asked Jennifer why she was so far up Teresa's ass in their friendship. And that's when Jennifer said to her, okay, big boy, you want to come here and, say something? You want to be a big boy over here? Now, I don't think it would have ended up translating the way it did if this woman, Gabby, hadn't been in an oversized sweatshirt, a ball cap, not necessarily dressed extremely feminine. And a lot of people were saying she misgendered her. From what I understand, now you can correct me because you are in that East Coast area, you know this area. I still wouldn't have said that, but I think it was like, okay, big guy. All right, little miss big for your britches type of thing. But instead, it was big boy that she said. But the problem is, she went on social media and called her a whale on top of that. And I hear the Bravo execs are not happy about this.
They're not. They're not. But and this is not to excuse that comment that she wrote on social media basically doubling down. I will say this. I do not believe now, and I have a lot of family in New Jersey,
Hmm.
and they, you know, they'll say stuff like that, and it literally has nothing to do with anyone's gender or trying to misgender someone.
Right.
In the moment when she responded that way, I do not feel that she was trying to do that.
Call
I
her a
I
man.
think she was doing like how the guys in Jersey would be like, "What's up, big guy? You want to come say that?" Like, but they would say that to like a woman would say that, like
Mhm.
a hard up New Jersey girl. That's about like, "What's up, guy? You want to come over here and talk that smack?" Like,
Mhm.
that's how I read it. Now, I'm not saying I'm not Jennifer Aydin. I'm not in her brain, so I can't assess what her real intention was. But the first perception was not that.
Mm-mm.
Now, the whale comment, no.
Too far.
It's only because from where Jennifer sits, it's like how I hold myself to a higher standard. I'm not going to get in the comments and fight back and forth with people and get on their level, because if that's the case, then I'm not doing my opinion. I'm not being professional.
Exactly. So we have Callie Ma is she's from Jersey. I'm sorry, I see talking about misgendering. I don't know. They are from Jersey and they agree. So there
Yeah,
you go.
I think most people from Jersey or the East Coast would agree if they've ever encountered anyone from New Jersey for more than 10 minutes.
Right. Yeah. And,
So,
and so then when she was also asked about, oh, well, what if someone treated your kids that way? And she said that basically she tells her kids that you treat people that way, you should expect to be treated the way she treated Gabby. So I don't know. I don't I'm not here to talk about anyone's parenting styles. However, not totally in agreement with that. Um, so then you and I got to meet Gertie for a moment. We had a really lovely chat with her.
mhm.
So nice to see her. When you and I both went and met Erica Jayne, my God, I already told y'all on the podcast that I did a quick one here on Monday. If you know where my brain was, I was so excited. And it was day one. You and I had just had a glass of Prosecco, just one. And I was just hyped up. Okay. I was like, oh my God, it's Erica Jayne. I got it. And so my first thing that I say to her, which is the truth, and bearing in mind that Lisa Renna dressed up as her for Halloween, I say to Erica Jayne, oh my God, I have wanted to dress up as you for Halloween so many times. And then I was like, words go back, Caitlin, words go back. And she was just kind of like, oh, okay, cool. And I was like,
Can we talk about Erica Jayne for a second,
please,
please?
can we?
So do you remember when I said I'm going to go up to her and I'm going to tell her that I'm sorry for being so hard on her, and you
Hmm.
were like, "Are you sure you want to do that?"
Hmm.
Like, do you want to tell her? Because like and it's a fact, if you followed me, especially when all that stuff came out, I was very much riding Erica's ass.
Yeah.
It came out in my recaps when she was on the show in that time. So, but over time, and things have obviously settled in a lot of ways. And then specifically when she did her Zach Peter interview, which he was the one that really kept things neutral and kind of helped, in my opinion, keep her shaped as a human being in all of
Hmm.
this. Because I'm saying this for the first time because I was going to make a whole video about this because Zach sent me something today that's really interesting. So you do remember I did go up to her and I
Hmm.
told her that I told her who I was, and I said, I just want to say that I was very judgmental and harsh in the way that I covered your situation, but I do say that, like, I see you from a different lens and I apologize. And I went and walked away, and she grabbed my arm and she was like, that means a lot to me. Thank you so much. I mean that. So then we took the picture and I walked away. Today, I don't remember what I was doing. Zach had messaged me and was like, didn't you say you talked to Erica at BravoCon? And I said, yes, but I didn't understand why he was asking that. Then he sent
Mm.
me a clip. She had done a live yesterday and she had referenced Zach Peters' interview and she kind of talked about him and how he was very much more neutral in the coverage and whatnot. And then she said, then there was this other guy who's also like a blogger who I met at BravoCon, came up to me and said exactly what I said, but she was like, I can't remember his name, forgive me. But he was like, I
Mm,
think she's talking about you. So allegedly, that's her
that would
referencing
make
back to
sense.
that moment. But I do feel in my gut she was, unless there was another creator there that faced her and said that. But in my mind, I wasn't going to go up to her and take a photo with her if I wasn't at least going to be authentic and self-aware and at least be accountable in my coverage to her if I was going to go
Mm,
take a picture, because I find that to be so inauthentic when, do you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like
Yeah.
talking smack
When
about
you
this
talk,
person and then be like, "Oh, please take a picture with me." Like
right.
that's so fake. So I can call myself out. But yeah, so that was actually really cool
Mm,
turnaround from BravoCon.
absolutely. I love that. I highly doubt that many bloggers, content creators went up to her and said, "I was really hard on you, and I'm sorry." I would very much agree that it most likely was you she was talking about,
Well, I have
easily.
another apology for another housewife when we get to that part. So
Oh,
I'll
geez.
I'll
Okay.
tell you.
Okay. Let's see. I know you went to Tamara and Teddy's podcast party when I was at Thursday.
I did. Yes. Yes, I did.
What tea could you spill from that party?
You know what? I'll be honest. It wasn't one of those situations that I think a lot of people would think it would be, where it's like, yes, every housewife came through and obviously they were doing two teas in a pod. It was obviously very fun. What I will say is I'm blanking on her name from Dubai.
Chanel, Lisa, Caroline.
Not Caroline Stanberry, the other Caroline. There's another one, Caroline Brooks.
Okay.
Ooh, we're live right now. I'm talking smack. Uh, she was, I could not validate what she was saying, but the tidbits I could hear because it was loud where we were standing at one point. She was in the corner talking to Meredith Marks about someone, and she was like that. I will say, Caroline Brooks is who she is on. That is her. Just at the party, her personality, I would say most of the people there are exactly who they are for the most
Mhm.
part, but it was funny because she was going off. She had an opinion about someone being on some franchise. I think she was talking about another franchise or maybe something like that. But that was funny. But for the most part, everyone was having a good time. I will say Lisa Hochstein and her man came through and they are actually in love. I will say that.
Oh.
They did it's a real deal. Like he was puppy dog eyesing her, like that's not
Oh.
a word, but like you know what I'm saying. She's in a good spot. And who else? And then I will get to my apology to this housewife because this was quite embarrassing. And if I'm never invited to one of these again, I will know why. Uh,
No.
n- um, there was someone else that I saw there that I was like, oh, good. Oh, I know a lot of people are probably not on her side right now. But Larsa and Marcus Jordan, I will
Mhm.
say that they were all over each other, not in a sexual way, but they were very affectionately, like he was very much there having fun, but they were very like it didn't feel like they were just it felt like a
Putting it
real
on.
relationship. Like I felt like they were really into each other.
Mm.
And then
Who do you have to apologize to? Who is
so
it?
I I want to preface that I hope that she realizes that I made it was not intentional and it was just a mistake. But at one point, um, my God, this would only be something I would do too. And this has always been a fear of mine, by the way. So this is what happens. So Teddy and Tamara are coming through, and so the way it's positioned, it's like one of those like duo suite type rooms where it connects
Mhm.
into another room. And so the other room was where they would take like a housewife and then go do like a segment for their podcast. So we were on the other side of that door, and that's where the bar was. So Tamara and Teddy are walking to that area. And as they walk through, she sees me and I see her because we've interacted. And I'm doing one of these and I go, "Oh my God, Teddy." And she's like, "I'm Tamara." And I was like,
No.
"Oh, oh no." And but the thing is, guys, I was just thinking about Teddy because I had just seen them when I walked in and I was like, "Oh wow, like everyone looks great." Like, but her
Yes.
name was embedded in my mind because Jeff and I were also talking about Teddy a little bit on our way to this party. So Teddy was ingrained in my brain. There's no way, and I want to make this clear, Tamara, I'm so sorry. I did not mean that to be that you look like Teddy, because she made a joke. She's like, "We're starting to look alike, Teddy," and she had to go back into the room. But I was like, "Oh," and I said it in front of all these other Bravo
Oh my God,
people.
I would do the same thing. Giorgio, I could see myself doing
So
this in a
I
heartbeat.
died a little bit for a second, but I was fine. It was not a obviously like dramatic. She didn't take it
No.
that way, but I was like, only me, only I would just blurt out someone else's name to the person that I'm like, and very confidently too, because I like my hands were on her shoulders. I was like, "Oh, Teddy." She's like, Tamara,
Oh my God. And it's
because
not
Teddy
that you
was right
didn't know.
behind her. No, no, totally.
You
Um,
knew who she was.
you
Oh,
can't even say that they remotely look alike. I mean, obviously the like the blonde hair, but other than that, they're you can tell the difference. It's just clearly like I had a brain fart. But yeah, so that was wild and fun and learning
if that's the
lesson.
worst thing you did all weekend, listen, honey, you are doing great. Okay. I just want to say that. Okay. That's not, there are probably, I cannot imagine some of the things that probably were said by other people. Let's just put it that way. What did you think of the Vicki and Teddy squashing the beef thing? Um, because that was wowza.
So Jeff and I were at that taping. So
Oh, you were.
yeah, I have to say it did not garner a good like not a bad reaction. Like nobody like it was just silent. It did not land. I was confused as to like what's going on? Like something was off with her. It felt like she came on stage, sat down. It felt like it was just very much like she had rehearsed this in her head
Mm,
almost. And I think the cancer thing really just threw the whole thing out the window. I think up until that point, maybe she could have played back and forth the way that she does with Vicki, but then the cancer thing did not land, and then she just got up and then went off stage. She was literally there for like 45 seconds. And then right when they wrapped, Vicki was not happy. Like she was like, you could see because they
could
like
tell.
you can see they can show you. You're sitting in the audience, dumbass.
Right.
But like you could tell it visibly upset Vicki because it
Hmm.
was like, what the hell was that? Like,
It the thing is, like, I unlike the what seems to be the majority of people, I don't have this intense dislike of Teddy. I just never have. I don't think Teddy knows how to do timing on just really anything. You know what I'm saying? Because that's already a really intense situation to be in. Like, squash the beef with Vicky, who it's been ongoing for so long. And yes, I fully believe she had that in her head. And she was, we've talked about how people are definitely practicing their lines in the mirror to their assistants, to the Uber driver on the way to whatever scene they're filming. And it definitely gave that. And it wasn't there. I think it could have been done in a better way. And she could have made a better point with it. Because, yes, Teddy does, in fact, have cancer. And so when she said to Vicky, "You're just triggered by me because I actually have cancer," unlike the storyline you and Brooks had.
but when you
So,
have that much of a deep context to your comeback, then it's not. I get it, but like it just for me, if you're and this isn't just about Teddy. This is any housewife that wants to rehearse their tidbits and their lines ahead of time.
mhm,
If you have to do that, then you're not doing your job. Your job is to be a producer. You're a mini producer. That's why all of them are asking each other all these like questions that you would not normally grill your friend on the way to like lunch about. Like, I'm not
No,
gonna grill, I'm not gonna be like, what's going on in your marriage, Caitlin? Like, seriously, what's going on based on these? Like, I might, but not to
but
that
not in that way.
degree, but
Yeah,
not
not in
for
that way.
like 6 months straight. I'm not gonna like every time I see you be like, so really now what's going on? Like, they're on a show. So with my mind, you're rehearsing stuff because you don't know enough about her to be witty enough to, you know what I'm saying? It's just,
Yeah,
it,
I there were a lot of things she could have said, and if I were Teddy, that wouldn't have been it. Um, I I don't know what more to say about it. It's just like I feel like everyone rags on Teddy so much that I don't like the dog pile on of her, but it just
no, I get it. Like, that's why I didn't even say anything about it. I didn't make a video about it because it's just like,
yeah.
she already know, she has to know when it came out of her mouth that when it, like, this
Hmm.
doesn't register to people the way I thought it would.
No, no, no. Something that was funny when I met first Frank Catania and then later on I met Dolores. I was like, "Oh, my son's dad is from Patterson." And they're like, "Oh, he's from Patterson? Oh, he's a good guy then. He's a good guy." And then Dolores, when I told her, she was like, "From Patterson? Oh, he's a good guy then." And I was like, I literally they just mirrored each other on everything that was said. And it's just one of those things that cracked me up. Okay. So, something else here, I guess I've been so afraid to even touch this one, but we're going to have to. We're going to have to. The rumors going around about Monica Garcia. And we're going to go past the part where we already know this for certain that Monica and Beauty Lab and Laser are suing each other, which is the way that it's that workaround in the contracts where housewives can't sue each other. Well, Monica is suing Beauty Lab and Beauty Lab and Laser is suing Monica. And it all comes down to allegedly, I believe it was in 2020, 2020, that Monica went to Beauty Lab and Laser to get some injections done. From what I understand, one of them was probably like one of the like non-surgical nose job type of things. And she went on a payment plan that was going to end up being a total of over $2,000. She put her down payment and another fee. So in total, she first paid $449. And she had a different name that she had written on the paper, and the name was Monica Fowler. Okay. I don't know what maybe her married name was. Maybe, excuse me, her mom, if she married someone and Monica took on that name. I don't know if maybe that was her grandmother's maiden name. I don't know. Okay. I can only look into that aspect so much. However, Beauty Lab and Laser is a big company, right? They're suing her over $2,000. And on the court documents, it says that they are suing for an amount no less than $2,000. Monica decided to countersue, saying that the injections were botched and that she then had to go get it fixed, quote unquote, by another injector. Okay. Now, and she also says that Beauty Lab and Laser told her, well, you're not going to have to pay for the rest of this if you didn't like it. But that doesn't make sense to me because also they would say, no, come back and fix it and we'll come back to get it fixed and we'll fix it for free. That's the way that type of thing works, right?
Mhm.
Well, Monica is countersuing for an amount that's under $50,000. Now, the general consensus that's happening right now is that moment in Bermuda where we saw Heather on the phone and she's like, "I'm shaking. It's her. Why would she do this to us?" And we're all trying to figure out who would her be that's so bad back at home calling in Bermuda. And people are saying they think it's about Heather discovering that it's Monica. That was the one who did that. But that is the way she was reacting. It's such a heavy, intense reaction to something that, yes, it's shitty. I'm not saying this was okay if this is how it all went down, but it doesn't line up to me. And it's very confusing. And I'm now thinking once we get to that reunion, we're not going to get the answers that we do need because there's the litigation of it all. Everyone knows if it's in court, you can't talk about it, right? So, tell me your thoughts on just that portion first before I move on to the from the insane to the ridiculous of it.
Um, Well, where do I begin? Okay, so I feel the reason why maybe, and obviously the show, I'm sure, is probably dramatizing it even more because why not? This is what I think. I think that and I'm saying this because, as you guys may or may not know, I have been called by Bravo Lebs the PI of the Bravo universe. I do like to get to the bottom of things. I like to get to the truth as best way as I can. So I did do, when I got back from Vegas, I did a deep dive search on Monica and all her last names.
Mm.
And what I will say is that the from what I understand, Garcia is the name that she was given by her stepfather or whoever was uh Linda was maybe with, or for some part of it. Darnell is her actual, I believe, last name. That's
Mhm.
Linda's last name. Fowler was her married last name.
That's what I thought originally. Okay.
So when you look at it from the angle of this entire time, now I also went back on Monica's Instagram feed, which she seems to have cleared out a little bit. I see you, Monica. And it's okay. Monica unfollowed me because I'm onto her crap, and I don't need someone following me if you are not being authentic about stuff. But nonetheless, I have a lot to say today, Caitlin. So I'm glad we're
Good.
live because I'm not filtering myself today. We're
Good.
covering a lot of stuff. But what I will say is, in this situation, Heather is filming with someone she is familiar with. She knows who this is. But when you look at it from a business standpoint, if Monica allegedly was going in there to get these services done and then is on a payment plan under a different last name, which is interesting because when I was doing my deep dive, sometimes it's Fowler, sometimes it's Darnell, sometimes it's Monica Fowler, Garcia. Like there's a lot of different variations. So it's not as simple as just typing in her name.
Right.
When they were probably putting two and two together, they probably were like, wait, what? So when Heather finds out, wait a minute, you're the same Monica from like almost 3 years ago that came in and stopped paying for services, and now you're saying you had to go get it fixed. The reason why I'm saying that is at BravoCon, I got strong word that Caitlin was sent home early. That Monica, yes, she was, guys. I'm putting it
Should
out
have been.
there. That Monica allegedly was sent home early because there was tension backstage and it was getting too heated, and they had decided allegedly that you kind of fulfilled enough of your duties. You can go home, and
Ooh.
allegedly changed her flight and had her go back a day early. So she and I don't know about you. I was there on Sunday for most of the day. I did not see her.
No, you're
Um,
right.
I initially assumed that it had something to do with Lisa Barlow and her, because as of right now, when we're watching, that's where the tension lies the most.
Mhm.
But then I'm literally like, I don't remember what day this news dropped. I think it was on the day of us flying home where it was like coming out that there was a lawsuit. And I was like,
Yes.
oh my God, that's why, if that is true that she was sent home, which I do believe, but I'll say allegedly. But yes, so I put those two together, and now it makes sense when you look at the trailer when Heather's like, you're not going to be able to talk yourself out of this one. Because I do feel, guys, and I'm gonna say allegedly, I think her and her mom are playing us. They are playing us, and we have fallen into it. I fell into it in the beginning, Angie's Greek lunch. But after this last episode, in my mind, they're both playing the camera and they're playing us, and they're trying to benefit off of the show to get on a come up. They're both
Hmm.
toxic.
I don't disagree.
And
Yeah.
I I feel that Monica's an opportunist. I do, allegedly. I don't want anybody
Allegedly,
coming after
allegedly,
me.
allegedly. That we've
Also, her mom's throwing her under the bus so easily. Come on.
I mean,
Why
it
did you
feels
come
like
on this show?
Yeah, I don't think Linda had to be begged to come on this show. The way she showed up with the car, give me a break. Um, Now this other rumor, I don't I don't believe this one, okay? I know a lot of people are really buying into it. Personally, maybe it's because I am naive and want to think the best of people. Okay? The rumor allegedly is that there are people on the cast maybe that think that Lisa's $60,000 ring did not just vanish at the airport in the bathroom. There is, and this was a Dumois blind that we have all pulled, the bits out of. That the allegation is that Monica took the $60,000 ring. And I've seen some people posting, that her behavior was quote unquote strange afterward. And when she said, that ring is at a pawn shop, it is not there. I don't take that as an indicator that she took it. Okay. That is a huge thing. What I do find strange is how she went in so hard on Lisa about the cost of the ring and how she doesn't have that type of money. If she hadn't gone in on her about it afterward, it might have looked a little less strange. But I don't know. I don't know. I just want to think the best of people when it comes to something like that. You know what I'm saying?
I know some people were digging up some stuff that I think real Andy of Beverly Hills had
Yes.
found it looked like I don't really know what that was. I couldn't gather why was it a car wash she said that she was filming in, and the guy, but it had something to do with military.
Yeah, and it was supposed to, originally, from what my take of it was, that it was looking like she was trying to get military benefits when she'd never been in the military, but then it turned out it had something to do with a car wash, that she wasn't even there allegedly, and some machine like was backed into or something. It's very confusing. And y'all, you've heard Giorgio say he gets down the bottom of things, and if he even is confused by it, it was kind of odd. I'm not calling out a content creator. I think, probably posted whatever they thought they were actually getting here. But it's been a lot of stuff just like being thrown out there to the point where it's like, which way do we look? What do we take seriously? And we can only go off of what we already know of the lawsuit that's already going on between Monica and Beauty Lab and Laser. So there's that aspect. But this ring thing, I just, mm,
Can I just also add, and I'm sorry for anyone that hasn't watched this week's Salt Lake City episode yet. That
oh, we're recapping
scene,
it.
okay. See,
Yeah.
I'm still on Vegas time because I don't even know what week it is. I For the scene where Monica, her mom, comes to give her the Range Rover back.
Hmm.
There's a moment this is where it solidifies it, where it's like you both rehearsed every single bit of all of this. And now in my mind, I can picture it after watching the both of them on the show. I could totally see her and her mom sitting on her couch and being like, guys, so this is what we got to do, okay? Mom, we're going to talk about our problems, and we're going to fight, and we're going to have that, you're going to be your little funny witty self because we're so toxic, and we're going to play into that because that's going to garner us longevity on the show. I'm going to come in, be sparky, and I'm going to be, like, she watched the show. She watched Jen Shaw be a firecracker, and it paid off for her until she was found out to be guilty of doing what she did. But in this situation, this is an easy come up for her and her mother.
Hmm.
First of
Hmm.
all, let's put two and two together. You are how old, Monica? Your mother's name is not only just on a car lease, a Range Rover lease, all black, matte finish. Excuse me.
You didn't need the Range Rover. A Nissan would work just fine.
No, 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 no. Like, to me, that doesn't make sense to me. You're talking about this woman, your mom, as if she is a literal monster in your life, to the point where your daughter is on camera being like, should we lock the door? and
Mhm.
you're exploiting your children in spite of trying to get a come up out of this rehearsed production that you're giving us. And I know there's a content creator out there. I'm not going to say who it is because I respect them and they're entitled to their opinion. They strongly feel that she is the new it factor on the Real Housewives scene. And I am sorry, but if that is what we all want to see is someone, it's like going on a first date and someone telling you all their bad crap all within 15 minutes. I don't know what to believe. Why are you telling me all this information so fluidly and so openly? I'm an open book, but you still gonna have to like try a little bit to get to know some of that other dark stuff. She in the first episode was like, I wish I had another mom. I did this. I was working with the Secret Service to take down Jen. I know what's going on in Lisa Barlow's marriage. And then like it was just like, oh, like for me, I keep my eyes sideways towards people like that because I'm like, oh, what are you really about?
Yeah, I think she read the Housewives playbook and that's where she was going with that. There are things that I am seeing as well. Like while I do think that I believe they are a toxic pairing. I do. Do I now kind of see maybe they are kind of screwing with us and they know we may fall for it. I because at first I appreciated how she was like, "Yeah, I banged my brother-in-law." Like it was kind of like, "Okay, girl, come on out with it." Because it's kind of like that old adage of housewives. If you don't talk about it, it's going to be found out and you're going to have to talk about it eventually, right? So, okay, before we get into the episode, excuse me, it's not going to be one of my typical insane recaps. There's one last thing we got to talk about that I know Giorgio has a lot to say about. I'm going to remind you, my dear friend, that we are live. Um, the Katerina, Lenny's, I call her his mistress because she's still a mistress, but yes, she is now his fiance. Oh my god, I lost him. He's gone. He said goodbye. She did an interview with Adam Newhall, who has the Up and Adam show. Now, I want to preface this. I am not going to whatsoever knock another content creator in any capacity. This is to me more about the Katarina and Lenny of it all. I know you have some specific opinions. My biggest opinion of that, just on his end, because from what I understand, they kind of have been friends. I could be wrong. So, from what I understood, I think knowing what we know now, which is that he ended up not posting the full interview because he ended up speaking with Lisa Hochstein and saying, like, the whole interview was full of lies, which makes a lot more sense to the reactions he did have in the interview. I want to say that because it looked like at first, I don't know, he was taking in things she was saying and it was almost like he kind of was going, okay, like he knew the actual truth and he knew maybe she was lying and was kind of going, this isn't, something's not right, and he didn't push her on some things. So I do just want to say the only thing that I was really like, he needed to just push her on some of the questions. That's all that my feeling on that in particular is. But again, he from what I understand, he apologized. Lisa chose not to post it. Katerina got a hold of the edited videos somehow. We don't know how. And she chose to post it to her Instagram, her reels. It did her no favors to do that. She was very robotic. She was very rehearsed. You want to talk about someone who was rehearsing from noon till night? The way she was answering back to questions being asked, I've said this about pageant training. You are told when you are training for interview and onstage question, when you're training for pageants, repeat the question back in some form that you were just asked. So, what is the timeline of you and Lenny's relationship? I'm not going to do her accent. That would be rude at this point. I'm actually so glad you asked that because I'm looking forward to the opportunity to clear this up. That's her buying time. Now, here's me being a conspiracy theorist. Excuse me. The way her hair was over her right ear, I was like, she has an earpiece in. I feel like she has an earpiece in. I really,
one 1,000%.
I have no proof, but I was like,
Allegedly, but okay,
allegedly.
girl.
This is just my crazy accusation and conspiracy theory that allegedly, because I highly doubt she could have done that without that help. Okay. One more time, Giorgio. We are live. What are your thoughts?
Listen, I'm not in this. First of all, I'm not gonna talk about creators that don't pay my bills, that I don't talk to, I don't follow. Uh, all I will say is this: my takeaway from this, whatever this was supposed to be initially, which, and I'm not talking smack. I'm just going back over what was said up until this point about this interview. Okay, I think what people's reaction to the whole situation stems from a lot of question marks. Why? What purpose is this serving? Because I think when you talk about the way this played out, if you have any sort of moral compass, I don't care if Lenny was absolutely disgusted with Lisa Hochstein, couldn't bear the sight of her presence any longer. You have children with this woman.
Yep.
You built a life with this woman.
Yep.
So for you to then rip her from that, not only her children, so that you could hurry up and move Miss Katerina into the same house that Lisa helped build with you and raise your children in. Now you want me to watch an interview with said person sitting in the home that she literally yanked from underneath a woman and her children confidently. What am I supposed to learn from this? Because all you did was reinforce where I stand, which is Team Lisa. But the thing is, I didn't need a reminder that I was Team Lisa. I was more thrown off at what were her motives behind this and what did she think was going to come out of this? Did she think some Page 6 headline was going to follow and be like, fans turn their hatred into love for Katarina? Like,
because she wants to save the lab mice.
You and every other person, my love. I would love to save all the mice and the dogs and the lambs and the goats and all of that. However, I don't need to go on a YouTube channel to do that. You have enough influence being Instagram whatever she does.
Yes.
Okay. You're living, and then you have the nerve to insinuate that Lisa Hochstein put a recording device in a Rolls Royce that was never yours. How dare you? So, like, all it did was, first of all, it's going to trigger every woman who's dealt with a mistress. You made Lisa Hochstein come out of her lovely situation to have to comment on my post about it to clarify, like, how thirsty Katerina was. How many creators? And I would love to know who those other creators were that she went to.
I mean,
but where I get lost in the sauce is once it comes out and she's got it somehow, but it's not where you would think it would be. And again, guys, I'm not coming after this creator. I don't
even
care.
though it's been said that apparently people are coming after them. That would not be us or
that's a whole
the
other
people in our
live
circle.
But I don't think we need to waste our energy on that piece of it, because to me that was directed at a few people and it was done to send a message, basically, stop giving me backlash about this situation, essentially, is my perception.
Yeah.
So that's fine. But and this isn't just about this creator, this is about in general, creators in general. There's a moment where we could step into the dark side of things.
Oh, 100%.
We are offered, sometimes you are offered things. Can you do this? Can you say this about this person? And some people take the bait because they want that relationship with the said talent. I don't need it. And I'm
No.
not saying that to be cocky. I'm saying it because I'm doing this because I truly do love these shows. And it just so
Yes.
happens that because of my love for the shows, it's led me here.
Mhm.
And yes, do I get to interact with some of the talent? Yeah. But I can't lose my integrity in this off of a few good relationships with some of the people on these shows.
No, to me, I just want like the entirety of the besties here. Y'all are going to be the most important people to me. I'm not going to be kissing anyone's ass just to be able to interact with a Bravo celebrity. I'm not going to be rude to people, but you and I have had this conversation that, our listeners and supporters, y'all are more important to us than any like rubbing elbows with a Bravo leb at the end of the day. So to me, it's like you have to consider who you're doing this for, and you're not we aren't doing this for the Bravo lebs. Okay. Like that's it at the end of the day. Do we love them? Yes. Do we greatly dislike some of them? Yes. Also, yes. So we're on the same page about that. Okay. Do you want to just like do a little recap of the Salt Lake City episode? It was hysterical.
Oh, I was laughing throughout the entirety. Like I they are killing it this season with the edits and the just the like the zoom in on the faces at the wrong time. It's just perfection.
Beautiful. All I want to say is just about that sound bath. God bless Angie catching all those strays in the fight between Lisa and Monica. When Monica's like, "Oh yeah, you should go listen because old people need it," and Angie goes, "Okay, well, don't say that because I'm
Yeah.
older than Lisa." And then Lisa comes back, "Actually, Angie's older than May." And Angie's like, "Great, thank you." I have to say, I am liking Angie more. When Angie is just authentically herself, when she was just genuinely trying to keep her shit together in that situation, I was like, I actually like Angie. I was not an Angie fan in the beginning at all. The tides are turning. Okay. Look at that.
I'm happy to
Um,
see it because I've always loved my girl Ange, but I do know why it took a minute because she's Greek, and so that's
mhm.
how it goes sometimes. But yeah, no, I feel like she's also more comfortable on the show now by this
Yeah,
point, so she can relax a little bit and be like,
it's getting less stiff.
yeah,
Um, so when Lisa goes over to Whitney's house and Heather calls her and she's asking Lisa if she'll sing Away in a Manger at her event. And Lisa goes, I'm with my bestie. Does she really consider Whitney one of her besties? I mean, this was obviously before they had their little meh thing. I'm kind of surprised still by the friendship. I don't know about you. It still kind of catches me a little off guard because I keep expecting them to kind of be still a little not there with each other.
I I think I think they do have a lot more in common than they would like to probably admit, but I think what brought them together was bad weather.
Yeah.
Ultimately, because they both had this disdain for Heather, and could say it's out of convenience that they're on the show together, and it's nice to have an alliance nonetheless, right?
Yeah.
But I find it humorous that Lisa likes to poke at Heather about it, which is why I think she said with my bestie, because she knows that they're not in the best solid place yet. So, you know, I know Lisa Barlow's not well liked at this given moment, based on what I've seen on X. But
We cannot call I can't call X X. It's got to be Twitter. I
I
just can't.
know, I know, I know. It's so hard.
It is so hard. Lisa is pissed as hell when Whitney's like, I don't care who started it. I could hear people screaming. You were screaming. Can I just say something? This is just a personal thing. I cannot stand when someone says that someone was screaming when they were yelling. There is a big difference. Y'all gotta, you're on a housewife show. You know the difference between someone screaming that requires certain parts of their neck to be sticking out and veiny when screaming. Okay. She was yelling. Stop talking to me. Yes, that was a yell, not a scream. Thank you very much for coming to my TED Talk.
But also, I know everyone's like, whatever, like Lisa Barlow, this, Lisa, but honestly, guys, how do you want her to respond to the way that Monica's fighting with her? She's fighting with her like she's in like high school.
Yes.
How do you want her to respond after a while? And listen, we're only getting edits. How long has that been going on by the time the sound bath happened? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's
Yes.
why I'm like, let's take a step back because we're not seeing all of it based on the just what happened at the Greek Easter thing. There was a lot that we didn't see. So I would have a lot of questions about that. And I hope that comes up at the reunion because
Yeah.
I need to know why we were throwing shoes and falling downstairs. But like, nonetheless, Lisa Barlow, I think also she's been a target since the beginning and the inception of this franchise. So she's constantly expecting someone to try to come for her. So she's just ready with defensiveness. And yes, it can get annoying that she doesn't let someone get a word in, but as someone who's had to work on that myself, I think that
Same.
happens when you've been constantly revved up and come after.
Yeah.
But yeah, so no, it is. I do feel like it's a convenience thing. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think they would be friends outside of the show if they weren't on the show.
No, I agree. Um, of course, we got a great Lisa-ism when she went to confessional and said, "I should be mad at her for having a cash bar and no food." Uh, I understand. That's basically what BravoCon was in the VIP area.
Oh, they had those little, what are those little pre-made Starbucks type meat and cheese? Oh, and
See,
chicken. I saw a lot of people with chicken tenders.
see,
God bless your
I
stomachs.
I happened to be like standing right by a door, and God bless, I felt like I was at a wedding where no one was being fed, and I I snagged a slider. You better believe I did. So
Ooh.
Whitney brings up how Lisa was pissed when Angie hugged Monica bye and points out that Angie has like this weird need to please Lisa and that she just doesn't want to upset her. And Lisa's denying that. And Whitney's like, has she ever stood up to you? I think you're triggered by shit by Angie and Monica. And Lisa's like, no, I have no problem other than that what she repeated what she heard about my friend going after her friend. Okay. Um, and Whitney explains also in confessional, like how it can be very difficult to talk to Lisa because Lisa can only see her perspective. I can understand why Angie is afraid to talk to Lisa. And Lisa's like yelling, kind of. She's not yelling, but her voice is raised. I don't care if they're fucking friends. And Whitney is like, oh my God. So, first of all, y'all got to give me a break here. Yes, I don't want someone dropping F bombs loudly in my home with my child, but her child was not coming down there because he was scared. He was like, ooh, what's the tea,
Yeah,
mama? What's
no, I know.
happening?
It was so wild how she tried to spin that into something that it wasn't.
And she wouldn't stop explaining it, excuse me, to Lisa. It was like Lisa just kept saying, Whitney, I get it. Whitney, I get it. And but just my kid, they think we're like I get it. Each other's throats and Whitney, I hear you. I was like, Whitney, she freaking gets it.
Because you know what it is? This is a battle of the sound bites.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all this was. She just wanted to make sure that this gets in the episode. So I'm going to keep repeating it. And so that's what Lisa does. That's why she cuts people off. Like, you're not going to cut my shit out. So I'm going to keep talking over you until you use most of this.
Oh my God, that would make me nuts. You and I, if we were in a room with that, we'd be like,
they would portray us as the kookiest fucking duo on the kookiest duo on the show for sure.
Oh yeah. No, Giorgio calls us Kathy Lee and Hoda.
Kathy Lee over here.
Hi, I'll take Hoda. Yeah, it would be a shit show, but fine, it'd be fine. I think I would.
Put us on at like 10:30 p.m.
Make sure the kitties are asleep.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Lisa just was kind of like in her confessional going, oh my God, like all of a sudden I'm like Emily Post. Let me explain to you how to behave. Well, I'm going to get you a copy of the book because the first rule is don't make your guests uncomfortable. Okay, so I guess Lisa just doesn't want to be lied to about the feelings that Angie actually has about Monica at the end of the day, right?
Fair
Heather
enough.
goes to Mary's house.
This is wild. The wildest scene I think I've seen on this franchise.
I oh, you know how they say, like, in a home, there should be a cohesiveness from room to room. Like, don't make just because you love the color blue and you also love the color red, your living room shouldn't be red and then your kitchen next to it be blue. That doesn't really flow, right? Mary said, I feel like now that Mary called Whitney a bobblehead, Mary bobbles her head so much. That's like all, and it's making me dizzy. That doesn't that make her dizzy?
I saw a post where someone was like, someone needs to do shrooms and go stay at Mary's house. I fell out of my chair because I was like, "Oh my god, could you imagine that what that trip would be like in that house with every room the way that it's so distinctly different? It would be
Those chairs.
wild." Oh,
The chairs
where do
alone.
you get first of all, and I'm not knocking people that like furniture like that because I get it. Everyone has their vibe. And I can
Sure.
actually appreciate the Tiffany blue kitchen. I like that it's her personality. I'll say that. I just feel like could there be like a common line throughout the entire house? Like maybe not so much like drastic change of color from room to room, but again, it's Mary Cosby and it's like she loves being at home, so I can imagine her also wanting her home to have every element that she
It would
could
give
think
me
of.
no, it would give me a
I would just be
headache being at home.
overwhelmed. I would be overwhelmed and
Yeah.
anxious.
Yeah.
Just a lot of stuff, you know?
A lot. A lot. Mm, like just the green carpet alone. Is it because the dogs pee everywhere? Is that why? I'm
But
wondering.
where do you get those chairs? It's
I
not just Mary. I've seen them in other people's home. Where Jennifer Aydin, I think, had some furniture. I know she said she bought hers in China. Uh,
it's
and
called
Jennifer Aydin said that she bought them in China, guys. Just putting that out there. I'm
right.
not saying that. But
I'm
I
not
I
saying
don't
Mary
know.
did.
Is there any maybe in Los Angeles?
So I know the name of the style that it is, and it's called modern Baroque, like the Baroque period. I could also be
Oh.
pronouncing that very incorrectly because now that I'm saying it out loud, it sounds like I'm saying it. They are Baroque. But excuse me, that's I just remember like that's kind of the vibe that the leather tufted with like usually rhinestones on the tufts and then like silver. We've seen them at like the knockoff living spaces in LA. I know I've seen them, been there,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
it's still like $700 and you're like, "Oh my god, I can't even get this as a joke." So, yeah. But Heather's sound bites, she has been rehearsing very well for them. Let's just say that. I feel like they feel less rehearsed than they have in the past.
Hmm.
Because when Heather was like, Grandpa Joe gets out of bed for two reasons: Willy Wonka's chocolate factory and Mary Cosby's house tour. The Whoville chairs, yeah, I mean, she nailed it. This was interesting how Mary was saying she always felt connected to Heather, but pushes at Heather. I mean, you can say no if you don't feel that way. And it was like when she does that, it feels like she is dying for Heather to be like, no, I don't feel like we were that close. Like she's like pushing her to be like, oh, I'm fake all the time with you, when I don't think that's the case. I think Heather is scared of Mary. I think everyone's scared of Mary because you don't know what's going to come out of her mouth.
Well, I think also what Mary was trying to get at, I think, was I feel like out of all of the ladies, we are the most aligned from the church standpoint of
Hmm.
things and how it kind of essentially is your life, right?
Yeah.
But I think the thing that confuses Mary about Heather, I think, is that she's trying to figure out, okay, so you want because I think she said it in her interview. You can't have best of both worlds. You can't jump over to the dark side and then still want to come back over to the place that you don't really want to be a part of fully.
I think Heather doesn't even know what she wants. I
No.
think what Heather probably actually wants is the church community she wants a relationship with her God. And I
Yeah,
think for Heather, that would mean going to a non-denominational Christian church. I think
that's
for
what I
her,
was
that's what she
thinking.
needs.
There's
And
gotta
I
be
think
those in Utah though, right? It's not like it's
surely,
only I would yeah, so
yeah, I think that's what Heather needs because there are other aspects to a godly
totally.
religion. What's the Christian type of
Well,
religion than just
she
Mormonism.
still wants to be spiritually fed. She just
Yeah,
doesn't wanna do the, like, the culty, dare I say, the strictness around what maybe she was exposed to.
sure. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think there's rules that can be made on her terms.
Mhm. Uh then when Mary tells Heather she's only read the part in her book that was about her, and Mary's very adamant that what Heather wrote about Mary was not true. So Heather reads the excerpt, and I'm like, it sounds exactly spot on.
It
She
is.
Heather reads, Mary was both parts elusive and forthcoming, engaging and disinterested. I agreed with everything she said, and when she corrected my grammar, my pronunciation, my diet, and my physical appearance, I hung my head in shame and thanked her for her sincerity. And thanked her sincerely. Oh my God, you guys, I forgot how to podcast. Bear with me. Like, I don't know where I am or what I'm doing. Um, Jesus. Um, but Mary's telling Heather, oh, you maybe sound bougie and poised and that she's not. And Heather's like, "Uh, isn't that what you really want us to think you are? Um, and then Heather tells her, I think this was written at a time when our words were harsh with each other and reminds Mary that she said that she doesn't even know she looks inbred. And we get that lovely flashback. And Heather goes, do you think I look inbred?
I do.
I do. So did that bother you? Mary, for the love of God. She apologizes, but you literally just said that to her. It's like, I just think Mary's social awareness, ooh, ooh, it's not there.
I really just think that she awkwardly this is her way of awkwardly getting to know people is like I would just love to understand her uh like I would love to be like on a fly on the wall to see how she grew up to just to have understanding as to why maybe she communicates this way. You know what I mean? Obviously she was spoken to in this way
Mhm.
growing up because obviously like whatever, but I in this moment I did feel like there's that nice Mary in there. Like for a split
Mhm.
second you see it come through with her.
Yeah.
And I just can't tell if she does this other stuff for a defense
Mhm.
to protect herself or what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe she's insecure. So if I go
Yeah.
at it from this angle, no one will mess with me. Like I'll say you smell like hospital or you look inbred or women. Like do stuff like that where it's like people are scared of her
Right.
now, so they're not even gonna like
Not gonna go there. I mean, but I saw someone pointed this out, like, Mary, didn't you marry your step grandfather and have a child with him? Isn't that kind of like almost the definition of inbreed? No. Okay.
well, sometimes people project things onto you that
Mhm. Mhm. Projection.
it's
All I want to say about Meredith and Seth's podcast, God forgive me. This doesn't mean I don't like Meredith, who she is. Oh my God. I cannot think of two voices I probably would not want to listen to in my ears more than
you don't
just
want to hear
having all
Meredith Marks talk?
no, the rumors,
The rumors.
nastiness. And then Seth going in to the mic, making those sounds. I was ready to reach my hand through that TV and be like, there is there are very few things stopping me from wanting to throttle you for making those sounds. That would be so annoying. And then all I could do was just say, like, God bless them. I know that feeling forgetting to hit record God bless them. I'm
Oof,
so
we've all
sorry.
been there. Anybody that has ever done a podcast ever or recorded a video for YouTube, man, how many times has that happened to me where I've gone right into the thick of it and it's cute, it's perfect. You're like in your head, you're like, I can't wait for this moment to play back. To then turn around and be like, oh, no record, no join session. Ah.
That was like the last time you and I recorded. I don't know
Oh
what the hell.
God.
Oh my God, it was so bad. It was
There was
so
like
bad.
there was a demon or something inside that platform that day. There was no reason for any of that stuff that happened to happen.
No reason. I feel like
None.
we've exercised it. I think we're good. I think we're
I
safe.
hope so. Yeah.
Better be.
We'll find out on the playback. It'll be
Oh
like
my
wah,
God.
wah, 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 wah,
No,
black
don't even say
screen.
that to
No,
me.
I'm just joking.
Don't even say that to me. Oh my God, Giorgio. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
No, the chat would have told us by now.
I keep checking if y'all are wondering, aside from looking at my notes, I keep looking and like while the recording thing, it doesn't like show that it's red when it did earlier. It says it's uploading. So I'm assuming that it's working. Please God. Anyway, so LD, excuse me. Do we want to call her Linda or LD? I don't know what she
I'm calling
prefers.
her Linda. I don't care
Okay.
what she prefers.
She's a Linda for sure. She shows up at Monica's house with the Range Rover, and Monica tells the girls to lock the door when she's going out there. Now, I think we can agree on this. This was not the first time the girls have been told to lock the door because Vovo showed up.
But she didn't. The daughter said, should we lock the door? And she was like, yeah, I don't want her coming in here. That's where I was like, So if this is in fact true, and this is something that happens where, Vovo's here, lock them doors. I'm going to go outside and talk to her. You know that going into the show that this is what's going to play out, and you're going to make your children be on TV doing that? I'm sorry, but I get it. If you have children, you want to be on this show, they have to show that. But where is your boundary?
I don't think they have any.
That's wild to me. I'm sorry. I'm not a parent. I'm not trying to judge. I know I sound like I'm being judgy. I'm looking at it
That's what
from
we
the
do.
standpoint of the kid, then watching that back later or having someone be like, you were on that show when your grandma was being crazy and your mom told you to lock the door. Like, that's what registers with me. Linda
I
and
think the
Monica
other
are
things would be,
adults. They can handle their stuff. Okay. I'm not
yeah.
like, I can empathize all the day long, but I do feel this is a produced situation between the both of them.
Yeah. Yeah, because Linda shows up in the knockoff Burberry pajamas with pigtails. I mean, I don't know what was happening. And did you notice there was a tag still on her scarf?
That wasn't a tag. She was wearing a polo, I think it was polo. I don't know if it was Ralph Lauren or Polo Beverly Hills, those two that look similar. They have the whole, so the emblem that, what is it
Yeah.
called? So that part is sticking out and her scarf is covering a majority of the emblem. So from the screenshot, it looks like the plastic tag. It's not. You guys know I get to the bottom of it.
Okay.
So that's what it was.
Well,
You're welcome, Linda.
Linda. Listen, Linda. So Linda says she comes bearing gifts, and Monica's like, this is not a gift.
It kind of
A
is.
peace offering. So essentially, this conversation is like Monica telling her she can't do things the way they've been doing anymore. And they agree that this toxicity goes back generations. And you can clearly see Monica side eyeing the producers as this conversation is happening, which is the only other thing that might indicate that this may not have been quite as orchestrated on Monica's end as it was on Linda's end. And it was the look she had on her face when she's looking at these producers like, so which one of you watched her sitting in the car while she watched you set up for the last 3 hours and then told her, okay, now is when you can come? Because maybe they orchestrated this for maybe not that moment. Do you see what I'm saying? Like something about it. I don't disagree that it's entirely possible that the two of them have been just pulling one over on us. But something about the way Monica kept looking around to me looked like that wasn't the moment maybe she was expecting it to happen. But also, did Monica really think we were just going to sit and watch her daughters decorate prom posters? So you can argue both sides.
So totally, but I'm not a producer, but I think like one a lot of times when I'm watching this stuff back. And what I think happened, or what I would perceive to have happened based on the edit that I saw and that everyone saw, I think production was at Monica's house. Maybe there was a scheduled time where Linda was supposed to come over, do a scene about the car being given back to her. I think that maybe the producers wanted to ensure that things were not going to be planned. Because maybe, listen, if we're feeling that it's produced, the producers probably felt that way too. So, what
Probably.
better way than to set it up where Monica's maybe not privy to it? So, you can't pre-think what you're going to do. Maybe that scene was just supposed to be about a family scene. But producers were like, actually, maybe you should go over there now. Like right now. Which would explain why Linda's mom looked the way she did. It was last
Me
minute,
too.
impromptu, and she was wearing heels, not boots. I saw that. Did you see that screenshot?
No, I did not.
It wasn't heels, but it was like she was like making it sound like there was like 5 inches of snow, and like clearly we could see the roads and the sidewalk. And Monica came outside with a cardigan, so like it wasn't
Yeah.
that cold.
No.
But the moment where Monica tells her mom, like, you can walk home, and she does this whole. How many times did you guys do that? How many times did you film that? Because I don't feel like that really would have happened.
Yeah, it was kind of in the way that Linda said to her, "You cannot be serious. I mean, it's beautiful out. Can Bree drive me?
Can I be
No, you'll be
honest?
fine." And
I
when
think
she's like,
Monica and Linda need to be on a TLC show, not a Bravo
I
show.
agree. I think
This
they
is
could.
very much 90 Day Fiance vibes. Like, mention it all over there. This is not something that I would be. I mean, look, to each their own. I'm not hating Monica. I just don't like what's been presented. That's all.
We don't like to be kind of treated like we're not as smart as we are. I think that's kind of what it comes down to. So after all this, as in after this aired, or maybe it was right before it, when we got the preview, that Linda then goes on social media and is saying that Monica hasn't made an on-time payment on this car in 26 months, and that she had, and people were like, well, then why did you put your name on the lease if she wasn't going to be able to do that? And she was like, because she begged me and swore up and down at the dealership that she would make the on-time payments. Okay. I need Linda to stop going on social media and doing this, unless if they are truly pulling it over on us, then go ahead. That's how you're making it seem like you might not be. But it's just like, if this is genuine, put the goddamn phone down and just stop. It just is so cringy to me that her mother is on social media saying things. It's so cringy. Let's play pretend that we aren't thinking that they're bullshitting us, okay? Let's play that game.
Okay.
If they're not, how cringy is it that her mother is doing that? That's pretty bad.
So let's just say that this is not for the cameras. Let's just say this is all real reality for them.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So are we only going to continue to blame Linda for Monica's reactions, the way she fights with people, the
No.
alleged things that she's doing behind the scenes? Is that all Monica's mom's fault? No. But in my opinion, I feel like Monica's one of those people that would weaponize all of her trauma against Linda to get Linda to give her something. And that would explain why Linda was probably fought with to get a lease of a Range Rover. I'd love to know what kind of car Linda drives. It's probably not a Range Rover.
Okay. Good point, Steve.
Something's there. So either Monica has something on her mother that she weaponizes to get some sort of benefit. But here's the other flip side to that. We can sit here and be like, what is Linda thinking doing that? Well, at the end of the day, my loves, Linda's in charge of the lease. And clearly, Monica hasn't responded to the claim that she hasn't been making those payments. So I do believe that Monica is one of those people that skips out on the bill. I do. And she uses opportunities like, let's call a spade, okay? You didn't want to pay that bill to begin with at Beauty Lab. You didn't. That's not how people settle things. If you've ever gone to any type of facility that does those services, you know, if you're not happy, and I can't speak for you, Caitlin, but when I had one, thankfully, and it wasn't horrible, but I was not happy. The first place I went to was not another facility. I didn't call my credit card and stop payment on the services rendered payment that I just made. No, I went back to the practitioner and I said, what's going on here? Fix it.
Fix it.
In a nice way. But you know what I'm saying? You go back to the person, just like when you get your hair done.
Yeah.
The rule of thumb is you got a bad situation, color, cut. You go back to the original person that did it. You try to see if they can even fix it. That's not what happened here. No. But now and also it's triggering when you look back at those tweets when she's like, now she's going to sue Angie for falling down steps that happened months and months back. Now you're bringing that up because you didn't like the edit of the episode. That's messy to me.
Oh, yeah.
But again, maybe that's what people want to see on their TV screens. I don't know.
Listen, we gotta look. We do have to, regardless of anything, we have to admit Monica is adding fire to the season. There is no doubt.
Absolutely.
So I'm
two
just
things can be true. Absolutely.
Exactly. Just making that clear, everyone. This isn't.
It's not hate. It's not hate towards Monica. I get I get this is good for the show.
Yes,
just saying
totally.
The optics are wild.
Or the ocular if you're Lisa Barlow.
Can we just please? I love her. I know you guys think that she's paying me. She's not paying me, I promise.
When she said the ocular of it, I was like, what? Am I misunderstanding the word? Girl, okay. All right. So we get to Heather's event. Not a lot happened, except I loved when Lisa was like, I just want to have a good time with the good time girl.
I love it.
And Heather's like, just be a Mormon like Lisa. You'll be a good Mormon and won't even have to try. And Lisa, I liked them playing along with each other. Like giving each other that type of shit. That was still fun to watch because Lisa was like,
this is the duo.
I'm going to go in one ear and out the other. Like, yes, do that. We're okay with that. It doesn't have to be dirty.
This is the duo I want, I think. I need more Heather and Lisa vibes. It's so fun.
I love it. Angie and Lisa hadn't spoken since the Prism event, and Lisa's just kind of ignoring literally everyone except for Heather. And when when Monica went and told Meredith about what was said at the Prism event, she didn't. Yes, when I didn't love that Lisa said this, okay? I have to say that, okay? But when Lisa had said to Monica after Monica was like, you're not my mother, which again, middle school type of fighting. And Lisa was like, whatever, Monica, no one wants to be your mother, clearly. Well, okay. First of all, that was stop it. It was kind of a low blow, but she didn't say even your own.
Sorry, it's just.
She didn't say your own mother doesn't even want you. But I was like, Lisa, girl.
You know what took me out? It was, I would have let everything go until she was like, clearly. I was like,
shit.
It's wild.
Shit. Oh, that was such a good scene. I'm so sorry. It just was. Meredith tells Monica to respond, not react. And true Monica form. That sounds healthy, so I'm probably not going to do it. Okay. Lisa sings Away in a Manger, and I did not like that Monica did this. Like, just shut up and watch it. Who cares if you hate it? When Monica was like, no, is this for real? And Angie was laughing with her, but I know Lisa was upset about it. Maybe Angie could have dialed back the giggles, but I think Angie was feeling so awkward that Monica would literally yell that out in the middle of it. And it was just kind of like, okay, please stop. Oh my God, type of thing. I didn't take it as Angie actually laughing, thinking
She was
being funny.
uncomfortable. She was
Yeah.
uncomfortable. That's what I read, at least.
Excuse me. So in confessional, of course, Lisa's like, what the fuck, Angie? You're sitting here snickering with Monica as I'm up here supporting our friend. This is exactly why I'm avoiding her. So, Lisa starts rapping, and God bless baby gorgeous. She did it. She landed the plane. She did great, in my opinion. And Heather reads an excerpt from her book about running into a missionary at the airport. And Monica says in confessional that she has all these fond memories of missionaries growing up. And it's just wild again to me where Monica and Heather are at now in present time after this.
I know.
So then we get to Angie and Meredith have a conversation while Monica's there, and Angie says that Meredith was threatening to ruin her family. And in true Meredith form, she says, I said I could, not that I was going to. I'm very sorry my words hurt your family. What else would you like from me?
You have no idea. I'm laughing hysterically because it's spot on, but I talked to Meredith here and there at BravoCon, and she talks like that in real life. It's not for the show, guys, because she was just like leaving. I don't remember where she was going. And I was like, oh, am I going to see you later? She's like, I have dinner reservations. And just kind of glided out. You know how she does her stride?
Yeah,
And
she
I was
kind of
like,
like
man,
sways and
yeah,
then
it's almost like, are you gonna
inches
fall?
closer.
But not, she's like, but it's like a gazelle. She's like smooth with it. You know what I mean? She has got the walk down packed, even when she's had a few cocktails. So, but it's just funny because I'm like, oh my God, you really do talk like this. This is fabulous to me.
Fascinating.
I love everything that Meredith Marks stands for.
Yes. Yes.
Talk
I mean,
about the
sometimes
model Bergdorf Goodman client. There she is, Meredith Marks. She is the classic Bergdorf Goodman client.
Oh,
and we
yeah.
love her. And we love her.
She is pure entertainment. Then when Angie goes to Lisa's house, Giorgio, Angie has got to stop wearing ski goggles everywhere she goes. She is such a petite, darling, beautiful woman. Everyone is calling her Cyclops. She's got, oh my God. No, he did not.
These are in my collection before Angie. Okay. I don't know if it's a Greek thing or it's just we're vibing, but like I don't wear these all too much. But I have to say, I love it. I love
No.
it. And I was thinking about wearing them for BravoCon. I did not bring them because they probably would have threw my luggage overweight. However, I have a whole collection up here. I have a whole Angie case. Look, remember these? Hello.
Okay, but
I know. I get it. But it's clearly her thing. She's a Sunny's girl.
of course you had a pair.
You should see. I have one of those twirly things that has sunglasses. I have like 3 of them in my closet because I love sunglasses. So when she came on the episode with those big things on, I ripped those out of the archives. I said, "Oh, I'm going to wear these this weekend." Thank you, Angie K, for reminding me. I have goggles.
Y'all, the way I was not expecting this man.
I was not. This was not planned. I promise you. Oh, you
When you
just
gonna
wait.
go shred the gnar later, bro?
Look, I need my Chrome Hearts little like hoodie zippy, and I'm like throwing those suckers on and going to 7-Eleven and getting me a Slurpee. Screw all of you.
If you forget the Adidas fanny pack, it's over.
Oh, so yes, I do. I appreciate some sunnies.
Oh, that we can see. We can see. Uh-huh. Okay, I'm sorry. Oh man, the props. I guess Angie, sorry. Once you get the giggles, sometimes it's hard to make them stop. Angie felt overwhelmed after the Prism event and, was upset at how Lisa left so upset. And Angie, or Lisa didn't realize Monica had such big issues with her. And Angie Lisa thought she was taking Monica's side. But Lisa says, no, I didn't think that. That she's upset because Angie says she doesn't like Monica and doesn't want to be friends with her. And Angie agrees with all of this. And that's when she says, the optic doesn't match the conversation, and that's confusing for me. I mean, again, at least she didn't say ocular.
I was waiting for her to say opulence, and then I would have literally quite lost it. Yes, no. I love her vocabulary. I can't have it. I need it. I need her to like make sound bites for my show.
I bet she would. I bet.
I would
oh my God.
die.
We just need to form like a new podcast, as if you don't have enough already, podcast show together and have Lisa Barlow sing the intro to it.
Oh my gosh. I would. That's worth starting a new podcast.
Giorgio and Caitlin got the 411. King and queen of Bravo Fun. What's wrong with me? Sorry.
Oh my God. I think my Rena wig is coming on Friday. I have some fun content coming your way, guys.
You have a Rena wig coming?
Oh yeah, it's from the Raquel Welch line. Because that's the only one I would get it from. That haircut is iconic. Woo.
You better be pushing those lips out.
Oh, please.
Okay, so and Angie says she's trying to move forward with Monica after the conversation that they had at that cute little coffee shop. And she admits she's been wishy-washy at times and that she's kind of been afraid to be clear with Lisa because of things like Lisa getting mad when she went to paint birdhouses with Heather.
The way she said that was hilarious. Like she wanted to ensure that that's how petty it was.
I just this is how insane it is. And it's just.
But you know what? Not for nothing, that this has been misconstrued. And I'm glad that Lisa was loud and screaming at everyone in this last episode because she got her sound bites in. So
she sure did.
See? But to be fair, she's only asking people to keep it straight with her because I know what she was talking about. And Angie did too, because Angie was like, okay, you're right. Off camera, y'all were probably talking major smack together about Monica. And Angie, you probably said some things. And then when it came time to filming, now you're hugging her and you're being like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And it's like, no, wait a second. Are we for her? Are you good with why are you doing the flip-flop? So I think Lisa in that moment was just like, enough. I'm not getting brought into this mess. And then you turn around, now you guys are good. And I look like I'm a psychopath.
Right, because Lisa was fiercely defending Angie and Sean when, granted, I think Monica was getting the blame for the rumor, but she was repeating it. I mean, she wasn't the only one talking about it. So that's what's tough. I felt like it was a little unfair to completely blame Monica for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but Monica opened the hot potato. She didn't have to say it. She could have said, I'll tell you offline if you want to know. But all I'm saying is that maybe you know what it is. Like, throw it back at Angie. Maybe you are familiar with this rumor since it's been talked about. You can say things without saying them. And Monica's problem is she knew what she was doing.
Totally.
Whitney gave her the ball and was like, here you go. You should tell your friend.
Whitney was stirring the pot. That's why Lisa Barlow calls her Whiskney.
Meredith's right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, wow, this was an intense confessional that Lisa had here. First, Lisa says to Angie, "Your insecurities with telling me stuff is not my problem." And then in confessional, Lisa says, "It is such a fucking cop out to say I'm the reason you're not telling me something. You're the reason you're not telling me something. You're weak, you're afraid, and you're a liar." I
She's
was
not
like, damn, girl.
lying. She's not
Whoa.
lying. She's not lying. I love my Angie, but she called it like, but Angie at least understood it. She came to it at least, it seemed like, because she was like,
Accountability of
oh,
it.
okay. Yeah, because it's like, okay, well, cool. Now I don't have to worry about that with you. I can be straight up with you, Lisa, and you're just gonna be one ear out the other if you don't like what I'm saying. That's all. It's not gonna impact us.
Right. Lisa says she got upset because about the birdhouse painting because Heather apologized to Angie and how they had taken the beating on that, whatever. It's some of it. I was like, what are you talking about? Angie wants to make peace with everyone, and she thinks that Lisa's triggered by being hurt by Angie Harrington and by Jen Shaw. And so Lisa keeps saying it's on Angie to be honest with her, but Angie reminds her how when she tried to touch Lisa, she pulled away and said, "Don't touch me." And that Angie would never treat her that way. And Lisa says she doesn't feel like Angie's being honest with her. Again, Angie says she'll keep Monica at a distance, keep it cordial, keep it cute, keep it cordial. And Lisa is triggered by this because of her shit with Meredith and wants more clarity and consistency and has no problem with Angie being friends with anyone and doesn't want Angie to feel like she can't tell her anything. So that's really that's the end of that episode. The Pilgrim dinner, whatever the hell that is next week. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I also want to point out, now that we've wrapped through the recap, I do want to point out to everyone that may have forgotten that when Monica initially not only said it out loud on camera, then continued to talk about it with the other ladies at Lisa Barlow's event, if you guys may or may not remember,
At the
when she was
Prano ski.
sitting,
Mhm.
yes, and when she was sitting there, Monica, and she said what the rumor was again out loud, the first person that was sitting next to her was like, no, he's not. He isn't. Lisa Barlow.
Mhm. Had
She
Angie's
shot
back
it down
100%.
as soon as it came out of her mouth. The minute she stopped the last word, Lisa Barlow, front and center. No, he's not. No,
Mhm.
that's not true. That's a lie.
Had her back.
That's disgusting. No,
Mhm.
Monica. So I would be infuriated too. That would be like, I don't know, like one of your friends, you like tell them something and they're like you're pissed off. And then you turn around and you see them geeking with them at the next event, and you're just kind of like, what?
Like, I thought we hated her.
Well,
I mean, but
don't you? She said something really awful about your husband.
yeah, I mean, there are worse things that could be said about someone than that. But yeah, I perfectly what I'm thinking here too. Adam Rabel said, "I wish on these housewife shows they'd stop calling a husband gay and weaponizing it because really, why
Why?
are we
And
using that as
also,
such a horrible
Monica,
thing?"
what is that? Why is that so horrible?
Exactly.
Why?
Exactly.
It's always like looked down upon. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like the
Yeah,
context, the
fully
way
agree.
it's been brought. It's not just on this franchise, when it's been brought up on other, and I'm glad Adam made that comment because it's so true. It's
Yes.
always a like, oh, your husband sleeps with men. Like,
Oh
but
my God, how dare he?
when it's another woman, it's just another scandal in your city. But God forbid the husband might be bi. And also, what business is it of anybody's to talk about that on a reality show? Where is that
Exactly.
coming from?
And like what a tired trope that, oh yeah, he's a hairstylist, so surely he must be sleeping with the men in the salon. I've told you before, when I worked in hair salons, I genuinely ended up working alongside more straight men than I did gay men. So it's like this tired old just trope. I don't know what other word to use. And so that's where it was like, come on, y'all. I
Well, it
know.
speaks to what we're known for, I guess, as gay men is all we're good for is hair,
Yeah.
fashion, makeup, all the things that I've done in my career, but that's not the point.
But
We're
you
not
are
all built the
well-rounded.
same. I'm well-rounded. I can put air in my tire and whatever. I'm just saying it's
Air in
not
my tire. I love that you said air in my tire instead of change a flat tire.
well, because I'm not good with that. Like
No,
that's like far off land for me still. But yeah, I can
it is
put
for a
air in
lot
my
of people.
tire if it's flat and there's not a hole in it and it's not gonna keep going flat. I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
independent.
Don't make me change it though. I'm done.
No. Well, I'll just leave. I'll get an Uber and call someone else to like figure it out because that would stress me out. And
Throw the whole car away.
all I'm saying is that the whole point, the context behind the way Monica said it is, I think, what people are not dialed into. She didn't just say, Monica's trying to out your husband with a rumor that he's. It's the way she said it, like, everyone
Yeah, it was the
knows. Everyone, don't act like you've never heard this before. And it's like, are you serious?
They're the
But no
ones
one's
going
allowed
around
to talk
talking about
about
it.
your stuff that you're literally vomiting at us every week between you and your mom. And yes, to go back, and I'm done with this rant. When Lisa made that comment, yes, it wasn't the best when she was like, clearly about Monica herself said she wishes she could do anything to have a different mom. So you know what? You've already, again, we don't know what we don't see. And so when things like that come out, and obviously it's for the edit and it's going to get us talking because we're doing that.
Right.
But I just feel like it's giving very much We TV.
Explain further.
So I'm not downing We TV as a network. I'm more specifically talking about the content that are they still around?
I don't
I am
know.
so sorry. I do not mean that in a bad way. Either way, if you are familiar with We TV's programming,
I'm not. That's why I'm asking.
so they have a lot of like, I believe, like that marriage boot camp style, like those shows where like other reality stars come and it's either marriage boot camp or mom daughter boot camp. Like Kim Richards was on with her daughter on one of them with Brooke.
Got
and
it.
like all that.
Yes, I know what you're talking about now. Yes.
This is why it's not that I'm not interested in this story, because I do watch TLC programming. I do watch
hell yeah.
WeTV programming. Obviously, I'm a reality TV junkie, but I would say that the format in which they're producing Monica's story does not align with the rest of the cast. That's all I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah. Okay, Adam.
Does it feel like it meshes?
So Adam, I'm gonna. He was saying like love after lockup and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, got it. Yeah. No, totally. I'm on board now. That's why, because I was trying. My brain was getting a little confused. That happens so easily, my friends. But
Did you think I was saying We TV as in like a different? I was
getting my brain was getting confused with like ITV, which I think does Love Island. I was also like, no, Logo. That's, you wouldn't be saying that it's like Logo if that were the case. So I was, and I don't even think we have Logo anymore, do we?
No, I
That's
don't
why
think
everything got moved to VH1. Yeah. Yeah. So I am really, we have like maybe three episodes left. I think two. Maybe
before
three,
we get to the trip.
Yeah, I bet Bermuda's going to be split up. And the season finale, from what I understand, is when Heather gets the phone call in Bermuda. That's my understanding.
That's the season finale?
I could be wrong, but that is my understanding.
Oh.
Yeah.
So then that means Monica's trip is the end of the season, which would make sense why they probably stopped. They made that the season finale.
Yeah. Huge. That's where it,
Spicy.
Yes, sir. Now that I'm saying this, I'm so sorry to say that next week, because it's Thanksgiving, Giorgio and I might, I don't know if we'll be able to work out next week. I'm thinking we may start doing this live each Thursday. We'll say 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll keep an eye on the social media. I'll schedule it. If you are subscribing to the channel, then you'll be able to get the notifications. I'm not trying to be like, oh my God, like and subscribe, but also like and subscribe here on YouTube if you want to be able to watch live and interact while we are sitting here chit chatting. We're reading your comments as best we can. I'm a little ADHD, honey pies. So sometimes if I start reading, I'll forget anything I was saying. But that's kind of the fun of us trying it this way is we get to interact with all of you besties. And that's what we're here for. And also just to talk shit with each other because we love doing that.
Yes, of course. And we love doing it with all of you.
Yes. Okay, friends, you know where to find Giorgio, right? Because he has 2 podcasts, Creating the Creator with Natalie Femtero, and you can listen to that on Spotify. Find Giorgio at Giorgio Says, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, I guess X, Twitter, whatever we're calling it. I refuse to give you X, Elon Musk. Okay, how about that?
It just doesn't roll off the tongue. I just feel weird
No.
saying it.
And
Find me
like,
on ecstasy. I don't know. What do you think I'm going to say when I say
that's
X?
the point. Okay, and is it just me? Sorry, before I go off on this, but does the icon not look like the Uber icon to you?
Yes, it does. I often get it. I mean, I have them in separate folders on my phone because I have a social media folder and then one for like transport. But I will
Yeah.
say it's very, very close.
Very similar, but X, like they tried to make it gritty in the background. I'm like, that is so Elon Musk. Like, I bet he is going to try and make Ed Hardy shirts a thing again. Don't try and make Ed Hardy happen again. Not, we love you, Ed Hardy. I'm just kidding. Okay, before I get myself into more trouble, because again, I just remembered, oh yeah, we're live. Cute. Leave a lovely review. We love that. They're free. And it literally like makes our day. So, and go listen to Giorgio's podcast as well. Go do all the follows, all of the things. And we will see you, if not next week, I will keep you posted for sure the week after.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Bye, friends.
Bye, guys.